to The Keith Noble Show, brought to you by Auto Chicks and the Nobles Financial Network. Look them up on Facebook, worth your time. We're going to talk today more about the election, and specifically we're going to talk about rage. Kevin Williamson said rage makes people stupid. Well, yeah, it does. And for 4 years, more than 4 years now, Democrats have been trying to generate as much rage against Donald Trump as they can. Now, I didn't vote for Donald Trump in 2016. I voted for him this year. I didn't vote for him in 2016 because I didn't think he should be president. Well, things haven't turned out nearly as badly as I thought. But the flip side really is this, that what the Democrats have done is unacceptable. They should not be rewarded with electoral victory. From Russiagate, fabricating all of that against Trump, and enlisting the FBI and the Department of Justice and National Intelligence in a fraudulent investigation, and then impeaching him over what was fraud. This is not acceptable. Now here we are on election day, and what we have is people threatening violence tonight if they don't get their way. If the election doesn't go the way they want, we have shop owners, store owners from New York and Washington, D.C. to Denver to San Francisco and Los Angeles boarding up their shops because they're so confident there will be violence tonight. Think about that. Why would you reward that? Why would you reward people that if the election doesn't go the way they want, they'll engage in violence? No, that's unacceptable. You do not reward that. This is the United States. That is not something you ever reward. That is not acceptable behavior. Ever. I have been voting for 40 years. I've paid attention to politics and elections long before that. It sometimes go the way they want them to. Sometimes they don't go the way I want them to. Sometimes even when they go the way I want them to, I'm disappointed. It's probably true of all of us over the last 40 years. Nonetheless, peaceful transition of power matters. People who commit violence, destroy property, riot because they won an election, that's as un-American as it gets. Now, a lot of times people on the left will say that's a slur to call them un-American. But I'll tell you what, if you're going to riot and commit violence and destroy property because you didn't win an election, that's un-American. Own it. Just own it. Quit feeding us a line. It's just un-American. Yet here we are. I mean, there's people, rational, smart people, talking about by tonight we could be in civil war. Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. I don't think we will be, but let's hope not. Because who is president is not worth killing over. It's not worth destroying property over. But there are people out there who are so intent on getting their way, that's what they will do. They need to be rejected. Wholly, completely, absolutely rejected. At the same time, we're in this predicament because we have invested so much power in government. Who's president? It really shouldn't matter that much because the office and the government as a whole should be so powerless. It should be within the constraints of the Constitution. But we have abandoned that notion over, particularly the last 90 years. People are so worked up because government has so much power. A less powerful government doesn't matter as much who wins. Own that. Understand that. Realize that. This is the problem we have. Well, we have a lot of people who think the role of the government is to solve their problems. It is not. It is not. The role of government is to protect your rights and protect your property. That is the constitutional role of the government. The constitutional role of the government is not to figure out things to your advantage. And it's certainly not in the current political paradigm how to figure out how to take this from that guy to give it to that guy in a way that you can get to 51%. I mean, that's what so much of our politics have become. Simply, I'll take from these people who are in a minority, I'll give it to these people and try to create a 51% majority of people I'm giving to rather than people I'm taking to. How insane is that? And we wonder why our society is so divided. Is there any mystery? Is there any other outcome that could come from that political model, that taking from a minority to give them the majority in order to win elections at 51% would create a divided society? What were you thinking would happen? Of course it was going to create a divided society. And now we have rage. We have riots. We have violence, political violence. All unacceptable. All of it unacceptable. We need to have a serious adult conversation here in this country about the role of government and how we're doing things and why we're doing things. We need to get away from the sense of entitlement to other people's stuff. Return to the freedom to make your own way, to do your own thing, to make it where you can be whatever it is your capabilities will lead you to be in this country. We've escaped that, and people don't understand the relationship between government taking and giving and the limits they put on your life in doing so. Well, thank you for tuning in again. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see how this stands after tonight. I'm getting doubtful we'll know who the president is tonight. I have no idea who is going to win this election. The polls say Biden. All my instincts say Trump. So we'll see how it goes. In 2016, the polls were almost all wrong, and the pollsters were wrong, gave a variety of reasons why they were wrong, and lots of those reasons were very valid why it was difficult to poll in 2016. However, if it was difficult to poll in 2016, how much more difficult is it in 2020 to poll? It's got to be much harder now. So I don't have a lot of faith in these polls. Trafalgar, a polling company, their guy in charge of polling there, made the rather astute observation that Donald Trump has to overcome the margin of fraud. Well, a lot of Democrats like to argue they don't engage in fraud. We all know different. And we all know what's going to happen. That they're going to keep discovering new ballots, be they in the trunk of a car or the shelf of a government office or a post office or whatever. And they're going to keep discovering and counting ballots until they win or until a judge stops them. So I imagine that's probably where this is going to go. It's going to go that they continue to discover and count ballots until a judge stops them. That's probably not good for the country, but that is the situation that they have created. So, tune in tomorrow. We'll see where all this stands. And check out the Nobles Financial Network and Auto Chicks on Facebook. And on Amazon, go look up my book, Our Dogs Did Not Bark, A Politically Incorrect Dystopian Tale. If you want to know where life goes with the progressives in power, it's a pretty good read. So, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.